So the first thing is websites on our list, and probably most of you have a website. If you don't, you need to scramble and get one as soon as possible because your website is your home base. Your website is the place that customers are going to end up when they're searching for you online. Your website is something that you're going to refer people to in a discussion or when you're talking to them, you meet people in person, on a business card. There's a lot of reasons that you need to have a good website. And the main purpose of your website is to get leads, get new customers into your business. And if you have a nice website that has the right things on it, this is going to make this a whole lot easier for you. So when I say you need a website, what am I talking about? So you definitely need to have a website that has a clean and professional design. You need to have something that is modern looking, it doesn't look like it was made in 1995. It needs to be responsive for mobile. So basically what responsive means is the website will change size and adapt and make it user-friendly for whatever device your customer is on. And I still see a lot of websites that are only designed for desktop. So, if somebody hits it on a desktop, it's fine, but if they try to look at it on any other device, it's basically unusable. So having a responsive website is very important, especially if you look at the usage of web users. Everything is shifted to mobile, so a lot more people are looking at stuff on their phone, and you need to make sure that your website looks good when somebody pulls it up on their phone. You also need to have a clear list of services offered and displayed on your website. Now this seems like common sense, but you would be surprised. If you're a plumber, for example, you need to have a clear list of services so when somebody hits your website, they know what you're doing. You also need to have an easy contact method with a form and a phone number. And the worst thing you can do is make it difficult for a customer to get a hold of you. And then you also need to have Google Analytics and a Facebook Pixel installed. Google Analytics is the standard that most people use to track usage on the website. It gives you all kinds of insights on the types of visitors, where they're coming from, their behavior on your website, and there's a lot of different uses for it. You also need to have a Facebook Pixel installed, and this is becoming more and more important over time. Most people are on Facebook, so the purpose of having a Facebook Pixel installed is once somebody visits your website, you can grab them, you know they have visited, and we can do some retargeting later on to get in front of those customers again. And the last thing on this list is you need to have an SSL certificate, and that is basically you have a secure version of your website that pulls up when people load it. Google places a lot of importance on this, especially lately. And to the point where if you do not have an SSL certificate, it will, on most of the browsers now, it will display a little indicator saying that the site is insecure. And even if you're not selling stuff online, if you don't have an e-commerce site, it doesn't really matter. People are going to see that, your potential customers are going to see that, and it's going to scare them, and they're just going to click off and go find one that is secure. And this is very important. I'll show you what I mean with an example here shortly. So those are the things you need on a website. What I thought I'd do is I would just pop over to the web real quick and pull up a few websites and kind of show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to use Denver Plumber through this training and plumbers in general as kind of my local service as I give you these examples and show you what I'm talking about. So let's say I was a customer looking for a plumber in Denver, and this is going to be a very big, broad market, but it'll give us an example of what I'm talking about. So if I were searching for a Denver plumber, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see all these ads and these local listings that we'll get into later. But if I was just clicking through and I want to look at some websites, let's just pull up a few websites and kind of see what I'm talking about on some of the things that we've discussed. So this one right here is the first one that pulls up just off the natural search results. So let's take a look at it. And the other thing that is important is that the site loads quickly. It needs to load quickly on your desktop, and it needs to load quickly on a phone. That's another thing that's very important. So this site is pretty busy. It looks like the style of it is a little bit older. So it's not bad. There's a clear way to contact them with a phone number and a button to schedule service, which is really good. They've clearly got their services, it looks like, listed, and that's really good. So the basic things we talked about look good. It does have an SSL certificate, so how you can tell that is on all the browsers, there'll be a little lock, and you know it's secure. See, it says connection secure. So on all of the things that we talked about, so far it looks pretty good. Okay, so if I shrink this thing down, it should stretch to the size of the window, or collapse to the size of the window, and it does. So you could pretend that this is a mobile phone that we're looking at it on. So see how it shrinks down and you can still use the website. So it is a responsive design, that's good. And then this would be approximately the size of a tablet. So it is a responsive website, so that's good. So the last thing we're going to check for is to see if it has a Facebook pixel installed. Most websites have analytics installed, so I'm not even going to check that. But we are going to check and see if a Facebook pixel is installed. So I can simply go over here. I can pull up the website. And once it loads, I can see that a Facebook pixel has been installed. So this website covers all of the basic things that we've talked about. The design is okay. I think the design should be a lot cleaner and not as cluttered. That would be my one negative. But overall it does an okay job. So let's do another one real quick. Let's go and see if we can look at another one. So this one's not too bad. It's got the big slider here with the Schedule Now button. It's got the phone number up top, and it's got a big button to Schedule Now. So that is excellent. That is what I'm talking about. Customers can easily contact you. It's got a list of the services. So this is looking good so far. We've got a secure website. See, we got the little padlock, so that's good. And if I go like this, see if it's responsive, and it is. So that's good. So this website passes the same test that the last one did, so not too bad. Let's go over and see if it has a Facebook pixel. Okay, so this one has a Facebook pixel as well. So this site is in pretty good shape and it's not too bad. Got nice service coupons on the homepage, so that all looks not too bad. Now what you're going to see as we look at these, we're going to pull up one more, and I'm going to try to find an example of not good so you can see the comparison. We pulled up sites that are on the very first page for Denver Plumber, which is very competitive. The fact that these websites covered the basic stuff we talked about, what does that tell you? It tells you that Google rewards sites that have the things that are needed. So I'm going to search through some of these and find one that is a bad example, and I'll be right back to you. So here on the third page, I found one that is an example of some bad stuff. So first off, there is no SSL certificate installed. So see how you've got the padlock and it's got the cross through it and it says connection not secure. So a customer is going to see that and it's probably going to scare them. The next thing is the design is very old and dated. I'm not sure when this was made, but it's pretty old. The next thing is it is not responsive. So if I were on a phone and I wanted to look at this on a phone or a tablet, it is not going to display all of the content. See how we're missing all of this over here? Because the site is probably in tables or something that's like a fixed width, and it's not going to display other than on your monitor, on your computer, on your desktop. It does not have a clear list of services offered. There is a services tab, but I don't see here on the home page, I don't see a clear list of services. So I think that is a mistake. It does have a phone number up top, which is good, and there is also this button right here to schedule service. So these two things are okay. The color of this is a little hard to see, but these two things are okay. And finally, let's go and look and see if a Facebook pixel is installed. I would be very surprised if it is. So there is no Facebook pixel installed. So all the visitors, all the people that are visiting the site, the owner is missing out on all of that data. that could be collected for future use, and also advertising on Facebook. So overall, this site is not good. A customer clicks on this site, and if I were searching for a plumber, if I pulled up this site, I would probably click off and go to the next one. So that covers websites and just what is important and what to look for. And hopefully it opened your eyes a little bit. If you are a local business owner and you have a website and you have any of these issues, you need to get them fixed immediately. Because like I said, customers are probably looking at your site and they're clicking off, because one of the things is affecting their experience on your website.